Hello, this is a story of a colonel and also a retired Navy SEALs person who lives in the United States, who is deemed as a warrior and also deemed as a special person because he survived some of the things many people would have died if they went through that. He's a symbol of true warmanship, and he has carried this war for, even though it's almost claimed his life, he still continued fighting for America and also continue fighting for what he believed. After there was an incident which led to a particular movie which was acted during around 2012 over there to 2013. This movie was it was based on a particular soldier who went into Afghanistan, and after going to Afghanistan, there were four members of his crew. There were four members who went to Afghanistan, and they were members of the Navy SEAL. And this movie, it depicts the true life story of this person, and this movie particular tells what this person went through. And if you want to go and check out this movie, it is called Lone Survivor. You can go and check it out, and after checking it out, and also when you've already watched this video, you will be able to relate between what that movie depicted and what I'm saying today, and what this person really went through. Because that movie ends where it ends in a particular place where this person is being able to save, which is, his name is Luttrell, Marcus Luttrell. Marcus Luttrell is being able to save by the Navy SEALs after, I think it was 3 days of fighting and also claiming for his life. And also during this 3 days period of time, they didn't explain in a vast majority in the video. They didn't explain it well, what he went through and how he survived in these 3 days. It just gives a short depiction of him being saved and of him being helped by a person called Gulad. And Gulad was a person who was Afghanistan, and it was not the usual of an Afghanistan, or the enemy which you're trying to fight against is saving you in battle, because that's what happened. Luttrell was able to be saved by a shepherd. After being saved by this shepherd, it's when they were fighting against the Taliban. And then after fighting against the Taliban, and this shepherd was around their premise and was around their area. So it took 3 days for the army to respond and also to send rescue units to save this Luttrell. And that time Luttrell was very injured. He had bitten off half of his tongue. He had broken his back. He had so many injuries because it was a war. It was a particular war and an ambush it was so frightening for them. And this ambush, they were sent just peacefully in this particular area of Afghanistan to fight against the Taliban. But what they say is that in the movie it depicts that Luttrell and his fellow men and also the people who accompanied him to go for war, Luttrell wasn't basically the head of that unit. There was another person who was the head of that unit, and they were sent to go to that particular place and neutralize the Taliban and be able to do away with them. So what happened is 3 of them died, and they were engaged in a fierce battle. 3 of his friends died, and he was the only survivor of that particular unit. And that's why the name of the movie is called Lone Survivor, the only survivor to survive in that particular war in that particular unit. So what Luttrell, the Taliban were after his life. After the 3 were dead, they knew there were 4 people, so they were coming after the 4th person, and they were making sure they wanted to kill him. So what Luttrell did, he went on a particular cave where he was trying to drink water, and drinking water, he as past, it doesn't depict this in the movie. in many podcasts where you can see it says that Luttrell was the best type of water he has ever tasted, because he was so thirsty for water and he could do anything to drink just water. So he was able to roll down in a particular hill where he landed in it was a waterfall and also a river where he was able to drink water, and that's when he was able to meet Gulad, who was a herder who had brought his goats to drink water in that particular pond. So Gulad and Luttrell had an encounter, and Luttrell had his finger on the trigger of the gun which he had because Luttrell was able to shoot, because he said he was able to kill anyone who would come to take his life. His senses were ultra high. So when they met with Gulad, they didn't know each other very well, and they didn't know what language they will be able to communicate. So Luttrell fingers was on the trigger and was ready to shoot Gulad. But what happened is it was already squeezing the trigger, and the pressure was already on the trigger. So it was just just not even an inch more of a pressure on the trigger, and Gulad would have been dead. But Gulad was able to tell Luttrell to calm down, and he will be able to help him. And what Luttrell did was give up the weapon, and also was willing. He took himself willing to be helped by Gulad. So after Gulad offered him help, Luttrell is the one who they didn't understand each other very well in the language which they talked, because there were different accents. One was speaking in Afghanistan and the other one was speaking in English, but they were able to communicate very well. And that's when Gulad took him to the point where Gulad took him to Luttrell to his village, and they was able to help him. So Gulad was able to take Luttrell to his village, and there, when he took him to his village, he vowed not to protect him, although he was an enemy. In the culture of Gulad, it says that even if you are an enemy and you give up yourself, I'll be able to protect you no matter what, because you have decided to surrender yourself. That was the vow for Gulad, and was able to protect Luttrell according to that vow and according to his own principles. So later on, Gulad was able to take cover for Luttrell, and he was able to feed him and also shelter him in his house. So at that time, the village was divided, because bringing this particular person in the village will cause a lot of harm to the village, because the Taliban will come looking for Luttrell, the American soldier, and looking for the American soldier. They will also want to kill more villagers, because they were taking this particular American soldier as their hostage, as their particular person, and also as their friend. So it was a risky for also the entire village. So Gulad had to fight and also had to defend Luttrell's existence, and also defend Luttrell's identity from not many people knowing if he's there. Although the villagers were also coming, and also this news spread to the whole part of the village. So after spread into the whole part of the village, some of the people also, the Taliban were aware that this particular soldier who we are looking for is in this particular village. So they went looking after him in that particular village. So looking after him in that particular village, the good thing is that village was headed by an elder, and this elder was able to dictate what happens. And this elder had also talked with Gulad, and Gulad had already convinced him that Luttrell was a good person and they had to take good care of him. So this village elder was able to talk with the Taliban, and although the Taliban were very angry, and also they were threatening the village elder's life, and also they were cautioning him about it. So after this village elder was able to send them back. So the Taliban went back and said they will come again. So what the Talibans did, they went to their leader, and this leader was the one which Luttrell was sent to kill, and his members of that particular force, which 3 of them were killed. They were sent to kill this particular person, head of the Taliban. So these Talibans went back to their leader to tell him what had happened and what this particular village elder had done. So Luttrell had to assure them and also tell them that the American embassy and also the American port for the army, the American base for the army, their nearest base will come to help him, because if they didn't come to rescue Luttrell, it will be death for Luttrell, because otherwise Luttrell will be able to be dead because of on the Taliban's side, because they will I think it was after 3 days they will come for him and also kill him. So Luttrell had basically 3 days to go and also to tell the American base that he was there and he was the only survivor. When you look at the movie, they had made also signals to the American base of the army, and also at that time the signal was not very clear, because this point was it was a hilly place, and the signal and also the network wasn't very well. So one of the key reasons that they made them get killed in that war, because they didn't have a backup plan. Because if they had a quick backup plan and also a quick response, they would have been saved, all the 3 people. But the response and also the network was very low, and which led to his members being able to die. So what Luttrell basically did is Luttrell wrote down a letter, and he sent this letter out to the nearest base, the military base, where they could be able to help Luttrell and also locate him and also come to his rescue. Because one thing Americans believe is solidarity. Even if it's one member of a group and of theirs is stuck in a particular place, they will be able to do anything to get him back to the American soil. Even if it's a half a member, a person is almost dying, they will do everything possible to take him back and also take him back to America. So they had to give, Luttrell wrote a message so that it can be sent to the nearest base. So being sent to the nearest base, it had to be sent on foot. And the only person who could go on foot without being noticed by the Taliban was the village elder, the old man. So they give out this letter to the village old man to walk day and night to go to that American base and give out this letter and say that Luttrell is in a particular place, in a particular village, come and rescue him. And there was a particular code which the American soldiers write on letters, where when you give out to a base, they will automatically know this is a soldier, and this soldier is in a particular place and needs this type of help. Because there's some help which is basically sending out rescue teams, and there's some help which is bringing out all the type of mercenaries to come and help you, and also there's some help where you just need help just to go back. So Luttrell wrote the particular of help he wanted, and he was able to give out to the American, to this particular village elder, and this village elder went on foot to take to the American base. And this village elder was the only person who could not be stopped by the Taliban, because he was respected. So it took him, I think it was around 1 day and 2 days to go to that particular American base. And after going to that particular American base, remember at that time, Luttrell is remaining with the village with Gulad over here and his family, so they are protecting him. So after protecting him, at that time the village members were taking advantage when Gulad was not there. When he went to look after his goats and to do some of his things, they were taking advantage, coming back to Luttrell, taking his watches, taking some of these things. So Luttrell had to write promises that he will give them $10,000. He'll give them $1 million if they were able to keep silent, because they were threatening Luttrell, telling Luttrell that if the Taliban's come now, they are about to come. So they were playing with his mind, and Luttrell, being injured and desperate to be alive, he had to give out his watch. He had to do some things which they had requested. So when Guled came back from where he was very angry because of what the village members had done. And some of the village members had taken his watch, and also had taken some of his belongings. So Guled cautioned them and told them to bring back the stolen items back to Luttrell, and show him that it is not all about money. It is just because it is our well-doing, and also it is our culture to protect somebody who is injured, and also somebody who has surrendered himself to us. It is not about any favor. It is not all about money. So Guled was able to return Luttrell and also assure Luttrell that he was in a safe place. So the Taliban were coming after, and also there was a particular encounter where Guled had encountered the Taliban, and encountering the Taliban, they almost threatened his life, because they told him, "We know you are the one who is keeping this American soldier, and we want him produce him, and we'll spare your life." These people almost killed Guled, but what Guled did was he stood by his principles and told them why he's doing that and why he's protecting this American soldier, and also he vowed that he will also protect him more and more. And remember, these are the Taliban, and Taliban operate without laws. He would have been killed, but he stood up with his bravery and also defended a person who is a different accent also, and a different race, who comes from America, and this person is an Arab. So Guled was able to defend him and also protect him against the Taliban of his own people. So the Taliban decided to leave Guled alone, and they told him they will come back after 2 days. So the time was running out for Luttrell, because these people it seemed that the American people were not coming for the rescue. So it was in a particular night where Luttrell had some, they saw the Taliban were coming out of the forest, because the Taliban went back to their leaders, and the leader decided to take an ambush to that particular village, and their mission is to kill this particular American soldier. And also this American soldier will be used to levy for them, and also do a treaty, and also do a deal with them. So this particular Taliban leader saw that Luttrell will be a leverage to exchange in for the Taliban who had been jailed by the Americans. So what this Taliban leader was basically up to was to take Luttrell as a hostage, and also taking him as an hostage will be able to exchange more Taliban who had been jailed by the Americans in exchange for Luttrell. And obviously the Americans will do this because they value the life of their citizen even more. So this particular leader ordered an ambush against that village. So they were coming. That was the day which they were coming. So being the day which they were coming, the air and also the atmosphere was not well. So Guled was there outside and also was asking Luttrell, I don't think we'll be able to survive today, because today the Taliban are coming and today is their deadline. So in a particular place, Guled was able to see a particular Taliban was able, and also they were coming and they were pointing a gun at them. So when they were coming, it was just a particular second before the Taliban had started coming and also shot themselves really well. The Americans came with a helicopter. Coming with a helicopter, they were able to neutralize the situation, and they were able to, the Americans were also to send away the Taliban who are in that particular area, who are ready for the ambush, and being supported by the air system, they were more superior than the Taliban, and they were able to send them away, and that's how they were able to rescue Luttrell. And after rescuing Luttrell, they were able to save this life. And Guled, at that time, Luttrell had not in his mind, there was no Guled. He just wanted to be saved. And after being saved, he went to America. After going to America, it is when they had some interactions with Guled, because Guled's life was also in danger because of helping this particular America to escape. And this America was so valued by the Taliban. So Guled's life was in danger. He also used to get life threats, and also used to be threatened and told that his family will be killed. So it was stressing for Guled also in that particular place, Afghanistan. So what they were in a constant communication. And also Luttrell, after getting back to his health, he offered Guled he should come back, he should come to America, and also in America they will be able to have opportunities. And that's the story of the backstory of what happened in this particular 3 days between Guled and also this particular American soldier who was Luttrell, who was able to be saved. And after being saved, he went back to the army. After this particular, all of his particular members were dead, he still chose to go back to the army to fight. So this person is particularly, the nature was on his side, and it decided to leave one person to go and tell everybody the story of what particular happened. So Luttrell was able to survive, and because of him, we have this story today. And please watch out for the next video, and I hope you liked this video. And if you liked it, please subscribe and watch out for the next video.